remedies of customer care malfunctions are very key in our businesses in order for us to troubleshoot whatever is going wrong due to customer care, poor customer care practices. And in the previous video, we clearly looked at some of the remedies, which included training, embracing feedback, putting there a clear culture of customer care, embracing technology, measuring performances, and the like. I am Godfrey Kasozi, and today we are continuing with the remedies of customer care problems. That is when we realize them in an already ongoing business, or putting there these remedies immediately for our startups, which are very new and just starting. So let us continue. There is something called clear processes. Clear processes. When you are trying to put there a proper customer care process in your business, it should be clear. And what do I mean that it should be clear? There should be a sequence, things that you have agreed upon and you have laid down. For example, if our business is a restaurant, you know, restaurant is a very easy, but there are very many businesses out there, but it's very easy to give examples on. If our business is a restaurant, what do we mean by clear processes? Clear processes means when the customer comes in, how do we treat him or her? How do we treat them? We must lay this down so that people do not think of their own ways and start doing their own things, like giggling at the customer, and yet it is not in our manual, sort of some kind of a manual. We have to lay it down that when we see the customer from far approaching our door, what are the things we start doing? We have to lay them down, those processes. We do this, make eye contact, greet the person, walk towards them. If it is a restaurant, as we have said, in between the customer approaching our door and the time the customer sits down at his table, there are things that we should have laid down that we do in that time. Then when the person has already sat, there are things also we should do, the way we talk, words we should avoid, until the time the customer leaves after consuming what he has consumed and when he is leaving. All those processes must be laid down. Why? In order to have consistency, being consistent, so that we don't meander around, and even if we have another branch, maybe in another town of our same business, same restaurant, what the customer meets there is what the customer finds even here. So we lay down those processes so that people don't use guesswork that, oh, we were told to do good customer care, so I think we should do, so that people do not try to create their own. That is very key. It is called clear processes. Another one, incentives. We can decide that, remember we said we measure performance and we track KPIs, key performance indicators. We need to give incentives where they are due. Reward some staff who have exhibited good customer care. How do we do that? We have to keep records. How do people manage to award employee of the month and employee of the year? They keep records so that you can monitor and see this and this. So even with customer care, you have to keep certain kind of records. Reward individuals who have performed well. Also reward the entire team. So there is a lot about this. You have to keep track of records, keep track of how many of our people are coming back, keep track of also, because if you don't have those records, there is no way you are going to manage to reward the individuals and the entire team. So that is very key. Another thing, lead by example. Lead by example. If you are a manager in a business, if you are a supervisor, if you are the owner, lead by example. Sometimes when you bump into a customer and these other lower staff are around, do the customer care so that they can look at you and see, oh, the supervisor is doing it, the boss, owner of the business is doing it, the manager, general manager is doing it, so that you are promoting the culture. You are promoting our culture of customer care. Then think of putting there a policy. A policy is very important, so that you even have some sort of a book, a manual, someone can come and read through and see how we treat our customers. Very important, so that people do not deviate. Because a policy has so many things. It even has, it might even have words that we don't use such words when we are talking to customers. We don't do this. We don't sit near the customers and almost be as if we want to kiss them. We don't. The policy can iron out all those things. So a policy is very important. Then think about creating a department, customer care department. Even if you are not a very big organization, even if you are not so big, you yourself, the owner, you can be the department of customer care. Because if it is not there, then who is going to monitor? Who is going to see that things are moving as we have decided? Then also try to use experts and consultants. If you see that this is too much for you to, because they are there. I have seen consultants in bar, consultants in hotel, consultants in restaurant management. They come around, they teach. After teaching, you can even pay them more to be around for maybe 3 months and teach you even how to implement. I think for today, don't you think that is good enough for today? We can have a continuation in our next episode. And don't forget, watch, share, and subscribe to the channel so that our material grows. As I say goodbye, as usual, we shall not forget our parting shot, which is not necessarily related to the topic that we have been talking about. Today, I want to talk about food, a little bit about food. Keeping food, conserving food. And I want to talk about a very simple food, sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes sometimes are wasted so much in some regions of the country. When you have a bumper harvest, very big harvest, you tend not to know what to do with it. But I want to tell you that in some regions, you can copy from there. In some regions, they have sweet potatoes which they call kasede. What do they mean? They dry the sweet potatoes in sunshine, in the sun, then keep them for later and consume them later. How does this happen? They are peeled. After harvesting, they are peeled. The top peel is peeled off, as usual, or water. After peeling, they slice them into smaller pieces so that the sun can hit them easier. So they are put out in the sun. If it is a sunny season, very good sunny season, they can even dry in around 3 days because they have been even sliced. Then put them in sacks Odea or Cotias, and keep them in a cool, dry place without so much moisture so that they don't mold. Then eat them later during time of scarcity. The good thing with them is that they are not like cassava that you have to pound them or kusekula. No, you just pick those pieces and boil them in times of scarcity or when you need to eat them. They are so nice, they taste so sweet, I think because they have lost the other water. You can even mash them after boiling them, mash them in sort of like the way we do mashed Irish potatoes. You mash them, or you can eat them whole. It is not a must that you have to mash them. But if you decide to mash them, they are very good with fish, eating them with fish. So please don't waste those potatoes. Do you know how I learned about them? I also didn't know about them, but a friend of mine who comes from one of the regions where they do that, he told me that during COVID, he was almost losing his entire money trying to buy posho and beans. When he saw his money was going and he was almost getting bankrupt, he remembered and said, oh, the village people, I think I can tell them to send me a sack of kasede, and he says it saved him a lot. He only paid for transport. He didn't buy it. When it reached, he got the sack, stored it very well, and he said he had a place in his house where there were tiles and the potatoes did not even get the molds. And it saved his money during COVID. So try it out if you're not used to it. We don't only dry cassava, we also dry sweet potatoes. That's it for today. Think about it, and let's meet in the next video. Bye-bye.